What's up, everybody? Once again, my name is Matt, and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. In the last episode, we spent the entire time sneaking around the Elden Province trying to recollect our items, and then we learned the second part of the Song of the Hero. In this episode, we're going to learn the third part by making our way to the Lanayru province, but first things first, let me re-equip my shield because so many of you guys got triggered in the last video because I just forgot to re-equip my shield like the second after I got it back. Like, holy crap, it honestly just slipped my mind, but like, from the comments, you would have thought it was the end of the world or something. They were insane. Like, everybody in their mother was like telling me in the comments, like, yo, you better re-equip your shield or I'm gonna freaking kill you. And I'm like, jeez, yo, calm down, man. Give me a second to breathe. So there you go. The shield is re-equipped, guys. But, honestly, I was considering just, like, leaving it unequipped for the rest of this project because it was kind of funny. And, I don't know, I like messing with you guys sometimes. So, I mean, there are certain instances when I play through some of these games that I do stuff on purpose because I know it will trigger a couple of people in the comments. But, yeah, I don't know. There are some fights coming up in this game where the shield does make them a little bit easier. Although, generally speaking, I don't use the shield in Zelda games. That's kind of like my shtick. And I know a lot of people, like, hate that, especially in my Ocarina of Time 3D playthrough. Like, that was one of the biggest complaints is that I never really used the shield. So, yeah, it's just kind of my thing, though. Like, I've never really used the shield in any Zelda game. Although, this game does make better use of it than most. Alright, so we're going to land here in the West Desert. Now, last time we landed here was when we were just making our way into the Lanayru Sand Sea. Now, as we were, like, making our way towards that area, we did pass by a Goron who, mentioned the Thunder Dragon, I'm pretty sure. So, this is where that comes into play, since obviously we are looking for the 3 legendary dragons, and I guess the Thunder Dragon would be, the legendary dragon for the Lanayru province. So, yeah, you're supposed to remember that, like, all the way up until now when you can actually use that information, because it seems kind of random at first, but, it is very important. So, let's go back and talk to this guy and see if he found out any more information. Hey, over there! Is that you, Link? Nice timing! I've been meaning to look for you. Come over here for a minute. Alright, sure thing, buddy. Sounds like he has some more information for us. Nice to see you, Link. Say, you ever find that sacred flame you were looking for? Really? You did? Great! I was pretty curious about it, so spill all the details. I see. So after all that adventuring, you finally found it. Link, I have to say, you are pretty amazing. You are not the only one. I've found out some more about the legend of the 3 dragons. This news is going to blow your mind. I have found out that there is indeed a hidden area beyond here. There is a narrow path that I cannot fit through without losing a few pounds. My theory is that it probably links to the home of the Thunder Dragon, one of the 3 dragons in the legend. And I'm convinced that these robots must have something to do with it as well. The Thunder Dragon, a bunch of robots, and time shift stones. What a story! Yeah, I can agree to that. Skyward Sword does have a pretty good story. Anyways, though, there is a slight bit of rock that is blocking our path in this cave. I guess the Goron didn't finish clearing it fully, but thankfully, that bomb will do the work for us. So, now that the pathway is cleared, we can just head right through here. And believe it or not, this is going to take us into the final area of the Lanayru region. Yeah, it took us this long to fill out the entire map for Lanayru. Kinda crazy. This is the Narrow Gorge. Legend tells of a dragon loyal to the goddess living in this area. Then why didn't you tell us about that, like, before, when we were trying to find all the dragons, if you knew about the legend? Signs indicate that an ancient civilization established a quarry here to mine the deposit of high-quality time shift stones. Consequently, the terrain is intricately subdivided with the remnants of long-abandoned mining equipment such as minecarts and their tracks. Alright, so finally, we're gonna fill out the rest of the Lanayru map. And yeah, Lanayru is huge, like, compared to everything else. Although this area is kind of like a giant square. And we're going to be going around, like, everywhere just to make our way back to where we are right now. I know that doesn't make much sense, but trust me, it will later on. Anyways, one thing I do want to show off is that right over here, there's sort of this skeleton of bones just chilling in the sand. And if we approach the skull and talk to it, the eyes glow, and that's really all there is to it. Believe it or not, that is the dragon for this area. So, yeah, the dragon's dead. Not really sure how we can go about learning the song from a dead dragon, but I guess it's really up to us to figure that out. So real quick, we'll activate the, save statue here in Lanayru Gorge, just so we can come back here from the sky anytime we want to. And we will be coming back here, but there's a little bit of work that we need to take care of first. So let's start by blowing up that rock and hurting ourselves in the process, but at least, we got rid of the boulder. Like I said, we want to make our way all the way around the perimeter of this area, and we need to start by going through that door. So let's check out this stone slab. Entry to the area ahead is allowed only by permission of the Thunder Dragon Lanayru. Well, Lanayru is dead, so can't really go and get permission from him, but if we look out over here, there's something shiny on that little tiny rock off in the distance. So let's take our beetle and send it down there, because it just so happens that this shiny object is in fact the key that we need to enter that door. So yeah, who needs permission when we have technology? Now that we got this key, though, we can begin the process of reviving the Thunder Dragon. Now, I will say this, out of all the trials, I think this one is probably the easiest, but also the most boring trial of them all. Don't get me wrong, I don't like the trial in the Faron province, at all. But at least it's interesting because, the entire area is flooded, and, it's something that you haven't really seen or done before. And Elden is pretty cool because, obviously, it's an entire stealth system, which really wasn't, used in this game except for that area. So that was pretty cool and unique in its own way. And, I think those alone make those trials more interesting than this one, because there's really nothing special about this particular trial. I'll explain what this is once we get going here. But yeah, you do want to activate this time shift stone, and then what you want to do is talk to this particular robot to get that cart moving. There are lots of big time shift stones here. Did you get permission from Master Thunder Dragon to come here like we did? We were just about to transport this time shift stone to Master Thunder Dragon. Is that so? And off it goes. There are many monsters. Practice extreme caution, and oh no, he died mid-sentence. Poor robot, he never stood a chance. So yeah, here's the gimmick or the trial for this section. Basically, we need to escort this minecart all the way around the outer perimeter and back towards the Thunder Dragon. So really all we're going to be doing is fighting a bunch of enemies while walking in a very large circle. That's all there is to it. I wish it was more interesting than that, but really, that's it. And that's sort of why I think this is the most boring trial out of all of them, because there's just nothing to it. It's just walking along this cart. I mean, sure, there are a couple of instances where you need to make use of, different items like your claw shot and stuff like that, but really, it's nothing that we haven't seen before, and this cart moves very, very slowly, so if anything, it's just a slightly different version of an escort mission. So while we're going through here, I do want to take a second or two and talk about the soft locking save glitch that takes place in this part of the game, because I did a bit of research online to try and better understand, what actually triggers that glitch and why it happens, and it's not actually what I thought it was. So originally, I had thought that if you had just completed this trial first, it would soft lock and break your save, then you have to go and download that update just to fix it, but that's actually incorrect. You can do this trial first, no problem, and then continue to the other trials like normal, but if you complete this trial and go back to where that Goron in the Lanayru caves was and talk to him again, that of all things is actually what causes the game to soft lock. You'll talk to him a second time, and he tells you how jealous he is that you saw the dragon or whatever, and I guess his jealousy just makes it so it's impossible to beat the game without downloading and using that tool that Nintendo released to fix your save. Now, clearly, that wasn't intentional at all by the developers, but it's so weird that talking to an NPC of all things after you complete this trial is what causes that glitch to happen and causes your save to like break. And I have no idea why that of all things would do that. And I did try to find some more detailed information, but I really couldn't find a solid source. So I'm going to try and explain what I think is happening. But this is all based on my limited knowledge of computers and how code is sort of written. And keep in mind that I barely know like Python, and that is the easiest computer language to learn, so I may be entirely wrong on this. But what I think is happening is they created these 3 trials to be taken on in like any order you want to. So they have like these 3 different, we'll say, flags, if you will. So after you complete like this trial, which I'm guessing they intended to be the last trial, so they made like the flag maybe later on down the line just by a little bit to sort of differentiate it in like the game's memory or whatever. So you take on this trial, which in that of itself is perfectly fine. Like at this point the save is still intact, but if you go back and talk to that Goron, because he has different dialogue that takes place after you complete this trial, it sort of sets up another flag in the game's memory that says you've completed up to this far in the game. And my assumption is that the flag that takes place when you talk to that Goron is set after the flags for all the trials in the memory. So by talking to that Goron, the game thinks that you've completed all the other trials, and as a result, the volcano will never erupt in the Elden province, and you will never be able to trigger the 3rd battle with the imprisoned in the Faron province. So that's what I think is going on. It seems logical to me, but again, like if anyone understands like how code is interpreted or how computers work, like they'll probably tell you that I'm wrong, so keep that in mind. And if you did not get any of that, don't worry, that's totally cool too, because I guess that would require a more advanced understanding of computers, and it's something that I have an interest in, but I know for a fact that I take that for granted because it seems like 90% of the people that I talk to about computers don't really share that same level of interest, which makes sense because, you know, I've sort of had this as a hobby since I was maybe 12 or so. So I've always been interested in like figuring out how things work, and more recently I've gotten into building my own circuits and my own machines, if you will, which is why I started learning the Python computer language, because I very recently bought some electronic parts to try and build a device that would update my subscriber count in real time and then display that information on a small, like, you know, 8-digit digital display, kind of like the ones you would find in a alarm clock, except like double the length of numbers that would appear on the actual clock itself. Haven't gotten it to work yet, but I'm fairly certain I know what the problem is, so I think I just need to buy like a few more parts and I should be able to get it working. I just have to find the time to, you know, start working on it again since I've been pretty busy as of lately. But yeah, that is like my first real project, if you will, because I've done stuff in the past like simple circuitry or repair jobs, or hooking up different things to batteries to make them portable. But like, this is the first project that's dealing with logic and custom code that I'm writing myself, and it's also my first time using a microcontroller, so it's a huge like learning experience, and I do want to document a majority of it. So, you know, once I probably get it in a working state, I'll make a video detailing exactly how it works, and I'll probably put my code up on GitHub or something, so if someone out there wants to build something similar, they can reference my project. And I like that a lot about the electronics community. They share a lot of information, and I know for a fact I would not have gotten as far as I did with my project as quickly as I did without like being able to look up information from other like electronic enthusiasts that they put online, so I can reference their sources and sort of better figure out and have an understanding of the parts that I have and how they work with the stuff that I have at home. So it's just amazing, like the things that you can find on the internet and like all the information that is out there, and I never want to take that for granted because it truly is one of the best inventions ever. Like without it, I wouldn't even be here, I wouldn't have this job, and this video wouldn't even exist. So yeah, think about that. It's pretty incredible what the internet has accomplished in just a few decades. Like, hasn't even been around for 4 decades yet, because I believe it started in like the 1980s, and that was like very, very primitive internet. So yeah, it's kind of insane like how much it's grown and how much information is out there in just under 40 years. Anyways, though, now I'm just pretty much rambling, and I know I've been doing that for like the past couple of minutes, but I suppose it doesn't really matter considering everything we've been doing is pretty straightforward. I'm happy to say, though, we're basically at the end of this thing, because once I activate this switch, guess what? Right through that door takes us directly back to the beginning of this area. So not a whole lot left, just a few obstacles, a couple of enemies, and then we will be in the clear. I'm kind of surprised at like how much damage I actually took doing this, but I suppose that's my own fault for not really paying much attention to the game and just sort of like talking about a bunch of random crap that doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Anyways, there's this giant boulder blocking our path, so let's deal with this. Best thing to do is just use your beetle and grab one of these bomb flowers from right over here and then bring it to where that boulder is. That way we can blow it up and get it out of the way. I mean, I suppose you could try and like throw a bomb over there, but I really do not think it would reach. Also, there is a goddess cube in the background. Don't worry, I see that, and we will be picking it up in just a moment. Don't you worry. And if I'm not mistaken, also if I haven't like missed any, which I don't believe I have, that should be the final goddess cube, which is pretty crazy. So yeah, we'll be picking that up very shortly. Anyways, though, now we just gotta wait for the cart to get here into the center, so while we wait, might as well sit down and... Aw, man, the cutscene triggered, so I guess we won't be restoring any of our HP because, yeah, sadly, that cutscene sort of cancels out the restoring of our HP. But with that, the time shift stone has made it to the central pedestal, and guess what? That's actually going to amplify its power and resurrect the Thunder Dragon. Well, kind of. I mean, he still looks kind of sick, not really all there. But before we go and talk to him, let's just restore our HP. You know, don't want to talk to the Thunder Dragon, His Majesty, with only half of our hearts. That's considered very, very rude in their culture that I totally just made up. But let's see what's going on with him. Cough, cough. Oh, hello. I haven't had a visitor like you here in quite a while. You are human, aren't you? You must have some reason for coming this far. What is it? I see, so you're Link from the sky. Cough. That's not much of a name, is it? How about I add a model number to your name like my friends have got? Maybe LD Link 16? Oh, I can tell you don't like the sound of that. That's a shame. Cough, cough. So what can I do for you? Oh, you say you need me to teach you a song, cough. Hold on now, didn't you just say you came from the sky, Link? So then you're the hero chosen by the goddess, aren't you? I see. Well, that is something. Although I must apologize, you see, I can't really help you. I may have enough strength for a brief chat like this, but, well, as you can see, I'm quite ill, cough. I'm in no shape to sing. And to think it was the goddess herself who entrusted me with this important duty, I feel the deepest shame, cough. Well, guess we're not learning this part of the song, it's all over. I'm just kidding, guys. We need to talk to him one more time. The robots were worried about me, so they planted a seedling from the Tree of Life. The fruit of this tree is said to be able to cure any illness. They planted the seedling over there, cough. But it just won't grow, cough. I think this is the end for me. Oh no, poor Lanayru. So yeah, the robots had the bright idea of planting the Tree of Life in Lanayru Desert. Although I suppose, you know, back in the day, Lanayru wasn't really a desert. It was like this lush area full of life and greenery. But because it did turn into a desert, that tree never really got a chance to fully grow, and as a result, all that's left is that like husk of a tree on the island directly in front of us. So we need to do something about that. So first things first, let's grab our gust bellows. That way we can dust off this time shift stone and send this entire section back in the past, because instead of just having like a dead tree, well, once it's back in time, it'll turn back into a seedling. So that's perfect. Before we do anything with that though, let's activate this goddess cube and send it right up to the sky where it belongs. So, goodbye what I believe to be the final goddess cube. I'll see you up in the sky once you turn into a chest. Alright, so now that that is done, let's go and take this seedling, because we know it's not going to grow here in the past. We need to bring it somewhere else. So now we have the life tree seedling. What are you doing with that seedling? Master Thunder Dragon needs fruit from the Tree of Life to recover. Unless you mean to help our master. Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing. Really? Thank you. Make sure you plant the seedling somewhere it will be sure to thrive. I fear growing the seedling to maturity in Lanayru province is impossible. We're counting on you. Yeah, so you can probably already tell where this is going. If not, allow me to jog your memory. Remember like a while ago when we were back in the Seal Temple and Groose was like saying how it would be kind of nice if you could plant a tree in this one area. It would really brighten up the place. Well, guess what? That's exactly what we're going to do, because really that's the only area where we can sort of cheat time. Like, we need to obviously plant this seed in the past and then return to the present. That way, you know, the tree is fully grown and we can get the ripened fruit to bring to the Thunder Dragon. So we need to make our way back to the Faron province and go to the Seal Temple, then go back in time and plant this seed, go back to the future, and then bring the fruit to the Thunder Dragon. So to save us some time, I'll just see you guys when I get to the Faron province. Okay, so we have arrived safely in the Faron province. Hopefully you guys don't mind too much that I cut out that travel, but this is like a major area in the game, so you should know how to get here from pretty much anywhere else in the game world, especially at this point. So I just cut that out to save us a little bit of time and streamline this last like trial just a little bit and save us some time. Speaking of time, we're about to travel back in time. That way we can plant the seed, then return to the future, or, well, the present actually, and take the fruit back to the Lanayru province. Like, I'm not going to bother doing anything else, but that is, like, required of me. So this should go by fairly quickly. Alright, so now that we're back in the past, you know, the Temple of Hylia, as it's known here in the past, we're just going to head over to where that dirt patch is, and all you gotta do, press A to plant the seedling, and ta-da! We're done. Now the sad thing is, we just gotta wait a ton of years, but don't worry. Thanks to the magic of this gate of time, we can travel back to the present, and the tree will be fully grown, and of course, it's just gonna have like a ripened fruit waiting for us. So all of our problems are solved. Just like that. I gotta say, it's a pretty clever little puzzle, and I like how the game alludes to it like way earlier on. Anyways, now that that is done and the tree is here, let's talk to Groose, shall we? Why not? Oh yeah, now this is a tree I could look at all day. It's like a symbol for this temple or something. Every time I stare at it, my jaw starts hanging open and I get this weird happy feeling. Well, that's good for you, Groose. Anyways, let's roll right into the tree, knock the fruit down, and with that, we've got the life tree fruit. Alright, we're pretty much done here. All that's left to do is bring this back to the Thunder Dragon in the Lanayru province. So, again, to save some time, I'll meet you guys once I get back there. Okay, so yeah, we just landed right back at Narrow Gorge. It's like the only save statue in this area, and thankfully, it's right in front of the Thunder Dragon himself. So, let's give him this fruit, shall we? Oh, Link, hello there. Is there something you need? Is that what I think it is? You brought that here for me, didn't you? Whoa, down the hatch! Zing-a-ding-ding! Sounds like Rick from Rick and Morty. Oh, you've done it, boy! I can feel the fruit's effect surging through me! It's exhilarating! I feel like a proper dragon again! Just because I have eternal life doesn't mean I can't get mighty sick. Thanks to you, boy, this old dragon will keep on charging a while yet. I owe you a big thank you, so allow me to perform a moving rendition of my part of the Song of the Hero. I should warn you, I've got a mean set of pipes and I know how to use them. This will clean out those ears, boy, so brace yourself. And with that, we learn the third part of the Song of the Hero. Link, I owe you my life. You have to let me repay you. Give me some time to prepare, and when you next return to visit me, I believe you will be mightily pleased. Well done, Master. You've successfully collected 3 parts of the Song of the Hero. I recommend you return to the sky and meet with the great sky spirit Levias to complete the song. Sounds like a good idea, Fi. And yeah, like the Thunder Dragon was saying, if we come back and visit him again soon, he'll have something for us. And that's pretty much how we're going to be getting the last piece of heart. And also, another item that a lot of you guys have been asking me about. And yes, I will be getting that. But I do want to show one thing off. So, if we hit this time shift stone now that the dragon is cured of his sickness, guess what? His skeleton and his bones are no longer there. So yeah, the Thunder Dragon is no longer dead in the present. And obviously in the past, he's just like chilling there because we were just talking to him. So kind of a neat little detail. Anyways, though, I think that's going to do it for this video. So if you guys enjoyed this part, a like rating would be greatly appreciated. If you want to see more, consider subscribing. But once again, guys, my name is Matt. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.